All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
All right, let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions proudly brings to you the Four Tales Podcast. I am your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the plum wordsmith of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and host of other programs. So if you are listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. That was good, right? That was good?
That was good. You're like perfect at this thing now, man. It's ridiculous.
One of these days, I'm not going to need the script to actually have up to do that. I'm just going to
bust it out. I didn't know you were still using it.
I was still That's a mouthful. You expect me to remember that?
I thought you had it. I thought you had it locked in already.
No, not yet. Not yet. Eventually, though. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This hasn't been my best week. I've been dealing with a bunch of family issues, health concerns, things like that. But I'm here. I'm doing the best I can, man. I do need to start off by saying I need to apologize to my mom's. Apparently, she listened to one of our episodes, and I decided to go just. I don't know, out of pocket and started cursing in an episode. I don't even know which episode, but she said I was cursing so much that within the first 5 minutes, she had to stop the show. So, moms, I apologize.
Man,
I promise that I won't curse as much next time.
Kyron, you bugging, man. You can't be just dropping F-bombs.
I don't even drop F-bombs on the show, though.
Can't just be out here. You know, this is a family-friendly podcast, usually. And, and we try to not get demonetized because I think last year we made how much did we make last year? Like a whole $6 or something like that.
I don't remember, dude. It wasn't a lot.
But shoot, we probably make more money if we start cussing. But no,
I thought about doing should we just go all controversial on every show? Just be political on some things and just
our controversial.
Okay, wait. Who is Facebook user? Because they say they're going to curse for me, which I appreciate because I don't want to get in trouble with my moms.
Somebody got to do it. We can't have Kyron getting in trouble with mama.
I'm thinking this Facebook user is Javon. Something tells me that.
Yeah. Might be.
All right.
Javon is out sick right now too. So well wishes to you and him.
Thank you. All right, but you asked me how my week was. How are you doing?
I've been doing good, man. I actually, like you, was kind of in a fog, kind of not having a great week this week, but I rested yesterday. I watched Prey. I don't know if you watched that on Hulu. Me and the kids watched it. Tiana fell asleep because she's been working hard. But we watched the Predator movie, and it was great. So got me some rest yesterday, and I'm starting to feel better. So trying to get up and at them, finish this stuff here in the studio.
I've heard good things about Prey. It's no Facebook user is Danny's main supervillain.
That's either
is that Lumberjacks?
No, it's not Lumberjacks. It's either Robert Smothers or dang, I can't remember his name right now. And he gonna be even madder. But Afro Avenger,
Kevin
Chapman. What is one of them? I'm sure we'll see.
If it is Kevin Chapman, he is going to be on the show next week, so you better remember his name.
I know. I got to get it together. So charge it to my head and not my heart. But anyway,
you watched Prey. Was Prey good? Because I've heard good things about it so far.
Yeah. It was really good. Like it was. I like that they went with low tech. Like they had, and I won't spoil it, but this was basically 300. I want to say 300 or 400 years before the first Predator movie. So yeah, I figured it was Kevin.
Yeah.
So even the Predators, I'll say this, but because it's not really spoilery, even the Predators technology wasn't as advanced as it is in the later movies. So it made the fights really good. And it was just the fight scenes in it were really good, and the like kind of the methods they used to track and hunt, and it was really dope. Like it was a really good movie and was shot well, and I recommend it.
But the question is it better than the best Predator movie, Predator 2 with Danny Glover?
Yes. Yes, it is. As a matter of fact,
I still want to know who thought let's put 60-year-old Danny Glover as a policeman in the next Predator movie after we just had Arnold Schwarzenegger
in the city, in the middle of a heat wave in the city. Like who wants? Like, nobody wants to watch it. I'm trying to stand outside in the air conditioner. I'm not trying to run around and get chased by no predator alien.
Like we went from prime Arnold and who's buffed out, who's got all his weapons, to Danny Glover with his revolver. Man, come on. All right.
It might be top two. It might be top two Predator films all time.
Okay.
Like, it's that good. Yeah.
Okay. I will try to watch. I did watch Venom, There Will Be Carnage this week. And I watched Morbius. So this is how bad the week has gone. I had to watch the two worst movies out there.
But they're not putting Batgirl out for some reason.
But but there's been more information about that. It wasn't just Batgirl. It was a bunch of WB movies that they're just not bringing in. Don't disrespect the Dan Glover. He was too old for that shit. He really was. Oh, y'all made me cuss. Dang it.
Your mom was gonna get you. Bob was gonna get you, Kyra.
All right. Anyways, yeah, I guess it wasn't just Batgirl. It was a bunch of movies they're not bringing. So we'll have to see how that goes.
That's true.
All right. Enough wasting time. We have our guest on the line. He's been waiting backstage. He is a writer, a musician, a MMA fighter, if I'm not mistaken, or at least he loves MMA. I can't remember which one. But he is the amazing Fred Mckinstry. I think I said that right.
Hola, what's going on, y'all?
What's going on, man?
Adding stuff to my man's resume.
Let me clarify something. I'm not actually an MMA fighter.
Okay.
I train MMA. I do jiu-jitsu, I do kickboxing, all that stuff like that. But I'm not like an actual fighter. I've never taken any fights. So I've done some like jiu-jitsu tournaments, but like just being clear, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess people get the wrong impression. They be like, "Oh, you fight for real?" It's like, no, man, I train with actual like world champions, but like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's all it is. So,
okay. Did we plan the purple shirts, Danny? Reveal it. Did we actually plan this?
I always plan to wear purple. Kyron just is a Sacramento Kings fan, so
yes, sir.
He has a lot of purple in his house, and it just works out sometimes. Several times we've come both dressed in purple. But welcome to the show, Fred, AKA Juice Lee. Y'all make sure y'all check out his MySpace page.
Yo, he brought up the MySpace page though. Oh man.
In doing a little research, yes, I saw that my man still has an active MySpace page from 2008. I couldn't get any of the widgets and stuff on there to work because I guess MySpace is going through some stuff. But the page is still.
I'll blame Justin Timberlake for that one.
No, but the real question is, who was in his top 10? We need to find out who was in top 10 on MySpace. That was a big thing.
We have to. I would love to know who's in the top 10 because
we all know Tom was in there, but who else is in there?
Yeah, man, I would love to know because that would be really interesting to see.
That was the day though. When you had somebody in your top 10, you get fights over that. Like, why am I not in your top 10 friends? Like,
hold on, wait a minute. I got it. It's a top 8, and there's Mike Mineo.
Mike Mineo.
Reggie Gold.
Okay.
315 Connect. Blaze Right
Studio. Connect. Okay.
Mysterious Beats.
Oh snap.
DJ Vadim.
Okay.
And I can't make this up. I can't tell who this other one is, but hey, the links still work, bro. Like
that's wild. That's super wild.
Okay, also, so we're all gonna go to MySpace now after all this.
My homie Christian Lee. That's a dude's a goated Tekken player. He's I grew up with him, and like I want to say I taught him like some of the things that he knows, other than his brother who taught him like everything he knows. So yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to drop that in there.
I love what other podcast is going to talk about MySpace and music and MMA within the first 10 minutes outside of this one?
There you go.
All right, so what's going on, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Just just trying to get some things together, man. We working on issue 5 of Skrap right now. We had a successful Kickstarter campaign like a few months back, and things been working. So that's basically what's been up.
All right. So if anybody that's not familiar with Skrap, what is it about? Tell us all details.
I'm gonna hit the elevator pitch on Skrap. So Skrap is basically about this girl, 19-year-old Shannon Noble. She gets her black belt in traditional martial arts, then gets thrown into the deep end of the world of MMA, and then finds out that certain legends are more than just legends. And that's the elevator pitch. That's a little 30-second pitch I can give that try to hook people.
So now I have to ask, because with Skrap and Ace Blade and Impound Comics, there's now a correlation between MMA fighters going into comic books. Where did your inspiration about MMA and comic books come from?
I'd say it like this. Basically, first of all, as far as Skrap goes, I didn't even actually intend to make Skrap. Like it was supposed to be like a side project thing that I was like, oh, this would be happening, because originally I had a story called Bite Division, and Bite Division is basically a story about like these little kids, these like 10-year-old kids that are like figuring out stuff that happens in their city. It's based like, long story short, it's pretty much Uncharted meets Metal Gear with kids. You know what I'm saying? But but basically like that was the original story I was working on, and then I got like writer's block, and like one of the main character, he has like this sister that like I wanted her to be like this martial arts sage or whatever. And I was like, if Bite Division gets big and everything like that, then I'll go ahead and make some little side story, and then I'll like have her going through MMA and like have her fighting Pride and all this other stuff and all of that. And then I got writer's block with Bite Division, and what ended up happening was like, well, let me just write just the first episode of this thing. I'm gonna just title Skrap, and then another episode, then another episode, then another episode. I was like, wait, what if I did this, and what if I did this, and this, and this, and this, and it just snowballed into where we are now. So, it was never my intention to like originally write Skrap. It just like was like, oh snap, this is the story that we're gonna write now. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, that was that's kind of how that came about. But the correlation as far as like MMA goes, I mean, I've been a long time fan of martial arts, and like martial arts in general, like, movies, TV, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, but like, it was just like, I wanted to do this book, and, I wanted to make a book where the people were like, there were people in this book that like, would never be in these roles. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody else is doing it, nobody would ever put these people in these roles. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me do it and, see what happens. But the other thing was, it was a manga like years and years ago called All Rounder Megaru. And that was like, they did Shudo and like Pancrase, but like, that was a big inspiration. And I was like, dude, I want to do that. And then like there was another one, there was another show or another book called Tepu, you know what I'm saying? And both of those are like huge inspirations on like me wanting to make Skrap. But like also the other thing was when I started writing it, it was just, I was like, well, what have I not seen? Like also, I thought I heard like a echo there.
Yeah, there was some type of feedback going on.
Yeah, it was weird feedback there. But
I blame Danny.
But no, like that was like, just do this thing I haven't seen. Like what cemented it for me in writing Skrap was like Angela Hill, like it was the first time I actually saw like UFC fighter Angela Hill like on some weird, it was like some news morning show or whatever, because like they had like she was on the Ultimate Fighter, and then like they had this thing where they were just the newscasters were talking to like the fighters, and it just happened to be all girls, and Angela Hill was there, you know, with her mohawk and all this other stuff, and this is like back in like 2016, somewhere around there. But she had that, and I was just like, damn, I never even thought about that. Like, what would a black woman UFC champion look like? You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I started, like, the wheel started really turning. I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna keep writing this scrap thing and like, or keep messing with the idea, because I didn't actually start writing it until like probably like 2018. You know what I'm saying? And then like I went through ups and downs of trying to get art done and all this other stuff because I can't draw for nothing. So, you know, that was the that was kind of how everything kind of started. So yeah.
Man, you just brought up something. There aren't really a lot of black women in NFC.
There's only a handful.
Yeah.
Like fighting at the highest level, there's only a handful. No. So and like of them, you know, like you have Angela Hill as like she's the most known. Other than that, like you don't really have many, you know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, it's exceedingly rare. As far as African American women, like I think there's like maybe two black women, like two Afro-Brazilian women, two other Afro-Brazilian women that are in the UFC. But other than that, like, yeah, you don't have them.
Ladies, so, you got to get out there, represent us.
Please. Yeah, it's interesting. Like now, if you get to lower levels, then it's a couple here and there, but like they just not. I don't know.
Anything outside of UFC and Bellator, I'm like not too familiar with, but yeah.
No, it's just not like in Invicta there is the 135 champ. He's the current 135 champ. This woman named Tanisha Tennant, but like and it's funny because like the way I seen her was she actually won a one night tournament where like she fought like three other girls, like, and you know, one night tournaments these days in MMA are exceedingly rare. So you know, it ain't 1993 no more. So but yeah, like that was a thing with that. I was like, oh snap, this is cool. So yeah, but yeah, that was it. You know what I'm saying? It's really not many of them. So, you know, but that's what also made it interesting for me, because like everybody else that like has MMA comics or puts the like or does like an MMA thing is usually just hey, here's my guy, and then you know we'll throw some tattoos on him, and then he fights in MMA, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like he's like an MMA fighter on the side, and like it's just kind of a thing. The one thing they never do is like, I'm not gonna like knock anybody, but most MMA based comics that I've seen, like nobody really goes into like the strategy and techniques and things like that, and like the technical aspect of like fighting and like the psychology of fighting is usually just, hey, here's this guy as a cage fighter and he punches the guy and knocks him out, or he kicks the guy and knocks him out, and that's it. And it's like it's really base level. It's like it's never just, hey, this person is using the wrestling he's using his wrestling in reverse, or like, you know, he's got like this person is setting up this, or like this person is doing using like, you know, their jujitsu in this way or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And like you ever see that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, well, hell, this is where I can go and like slide in the technical stuff. In Tepu and in All Arounder Meguru, they would do that, and like I was like, man, that's kind of what I want to do. So
I feel like we were attacking Danny's comic like to his core at this point. Just
attacking me. I put technique in my comics.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's other people out there that'll have their stuff and they don't, and I be looking for that, and I'll be like, you know what I'm saying, just because I'm a nerd about this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be looking for like, how did you do da da da, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's kind of what I'll be thinking about. So, because I'm a nutball about all of this fight stuff, and like if you follow me on Instagram, like you'll see my stories, and it's just nothing but like knockouts and tons of submissions and like all of these different things that like I'll find online and be like, hey, this is really cool. Hey, I'm gonna have my character do this. Hey, I'm gonna have my, like, you know what I mean? Like I got this weird story thing that I'm doing like on my stories where, and it's really just for me because I don't think anybody else is actually paying attention to it. But like I'll find like really interesting like submissions or setups, and I have a character. Her name is like Grace Neza, which is basically like she's part of what my universe's Gracie family is, and of like this is like submission number 63 that she would do, you know what I'm saying, or this is escape number 45 that she would do, like, you know what I mean. And it's just like I find all these techniques online, and I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna put that in the book. I'm gonna put that in the book. Da, 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 da. So it's just me, you know, doing that type of stuff. So. I absolutely love this stuff. You know what I mean? So, if you've not noticed,
we noticed.
I got a question for you. I got a question. Is
yes.
How do you translate that love for different techniques and submissions and stuff like that into, because like you said, you don't draw, so for an artist to be able to kind of interpret what you want, are you sending a lot of pictures or videos?
Man, it's a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. I break down, like in the scripts that I write, I'll break down like how each panel should look like as far as like the technique goes, you know what I'm saying, like, and I find specific escapes, you know what I'm saying, like specific escapes or specific transitions and things like that, and explain to the artist like, okay, this is how this would look in this way. You know what I mean? And so it's like having those visual aids like helps a lot. And it's just a lot of, and luckily it's like, you know, a pretty much infinite resource of cool things that people have done in fights, like everywhere online. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, I can take this from this obscure fight. And, oh, I can take this from this particular technique video. Oh, I can take this from this. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you have a massively infinite resource of like stuff if you like go and look for it, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, if I don't know it, then like I'm hitting up like some of the fighters that I know or some of the like people that also follow the stuff, and I'm like, hey, what do you do to get out of this? Or like a lot of times what I'll do with coaches, like I'll reach out to coaches and be like, how do you beat XYZ? You know what I'm saying? Or how do you do this? And like, then I'll start to like write about that and be like, oh, this is the technique we're going to use to like get out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the idea of, you know, having a book that like kind of teaches you like, or not even teaches you, but like kind of lets you know like the underlayer of the fights. You know what I'm saying? The underlayer of, oh, this person is doing basically kind of a rhythm step, and like if you're doing a rhythm step, it looks cool, but the problem is you're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody's tuning you up, you know, it's just like you rhythm step or you do a L step, you don't go anywhere. So they can crack you. One of the biggest knockouts of this year was you know, Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson, and basically what an L, and basically it's hard to explain what an L step is like without me getting up and showing you. But
no, go ahead, you can do it.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, this will make people watch our show more often than just listen to it.
Yeah, no, right? But yeah, this is why y'all should watch the show. But anyway, I don't know if you can see my feet here, but like basically an L step is pretty much where you would go and like you would try to like transition, but you don't go anywhere, and you just switch your feet up like that, and all that is just like, it looks cool. You think you're changing your position, but you're not moving anywhere. And that's what Tony Ferguson did. And like, that's when he ended up getting caught with like the meanest front kick and like sent into the shadow realm. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, yeah, like you can look it up online, like Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler. Like that knockout was just like people wondered if he was dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
so he might have died for about 10, 15 seconds.
Right,
so
right. He probably floated above his body.
A love for anime. I can tell that you have a love for anime and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best parts about a lot of anime is the characters learning different techniques. Like if you watch My Hero Academia, if you watched Naruto, for say, like those are two of the biggest animes in the world. And they focus a lot into the characters using their skills in a different way. So they groom and use their Sharingan or whatever technique that is that they use to defeat their enemy. So it's all about matchups and growth.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the approach you're taking?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, the old adage in combat sports is styles make fights. You know what I'm saying? So you want to incorporate that and be like, oh, how does this person get out of this? You know what I'm saying? And like, using the techniques they got. That was the thing to me, like in the OG Naruto, which was always so cool about that is the fact that like all Naruto had was like the shadow clones and the Sharingan, or not Sharingan, but the Rasengan. And like that's all he had. But it was the way that he used them in the OG version, which made it so cool because it was always a different way that he would have to figure out how to use like the Rasengan or how to use like, his shadow clones. And it was always like, and those are literally the only moves he had. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta look that up. It's been so long since I watched it. I can't even
remember. Is the what's his face?
I know what it is. I'm trying to remember who he learned it from because I thought that was
he learned it from Jiraiya. I think that was the only move that Jiraiya taught him.
That's right.
Like, I mean, then he taught him the Toad Summon, I think. But then, like, that was it.
Sage mode.
Know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was the thing. Those were the only moves he had for like the majority of the OG series. Like once you get to Shippuden, like obviously he levels up and stuff like that. But like in the OG series, like that's literally all he had. You know what I mean? And he would just, okay, I'm about to. This is all I got. You know what I'm saying? Just this little move here, but he'd figure out creative ways to use it and like, basically win. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think like that's always a cool thing too, because like even when you think about like going back to fighting, it's like with people in especially prevalent in jiu-jitsu, like where you got people who have like one particular move that they do, like it's just, hey, I only do rear naked chokes. So it's like everything is a setup to get to your back to do a rear naked choke, and there's billions of setups to like do all of these different like try to like basically get somebody's back to get that choke. You know what I'm saying? And like you got high level guys and like this is all it is. This is all I do. I don't do no arm bars. I don't do no crazy ass heel hooks. I don't do nothing. No. This is what I do. And like it's about getting to that. Okay, I'm gonna get you to this point. I'm gonna figure out a way to get you to this point. You think about like Ronda Rousey. You know what I'm saying? Like Ronda Rousey was like, I can do this arm bar. I'm not about to hit anybody with no chokes or no heel hooks or no knee bars or nothing like that. But I'm gonna get you in this arm bar and like.
People got special moves though. Like if you have a move just like we talked about in anime, you got a special move and it's effective. You got to use it. You got to use that joint.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know what I mean? So that's what I absolutely love about like stuff like that and just seeing how people set up things. So
we need to get you on an MMA podcast because your love for that feels like it's more than comics at this point, man.
Oh man, it's nuts. It's nuts because like it's just like I said, as far as MMA goes, and then just like combat sports in general, man. Like I feel like it's a thing that like I think it like if you do martial arts, I think martial arts will literally tell you about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll learn something about like who you really are, especially once you get into a tournament or something like that. Like you find out like what's in you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can think like you can have an idea of like what you would do under pressure or whatever in like a lot of different situations, but like you really find out about like yourself when you're faced with like basically an immovable object, you know what I'm saying, that's in front of you, that's trying to take you out, that's trying to get the win or whatever, you know what I mean? So I think
in your book, does your character go through those struggles also?
Yeah. So like, and that was the thing. That was the biggest thing that I wanted to do is take her through that journey, because it's like she's been, the way I did with Shannon was it was basically like I wanted to start her off as, hey, you just got your black belt, and pretty much, all you've been doing your whole time, like training these last years is just, point fighting, katas and stuff like that. That's what you've been doing. And now it's like, now that you got you achieved this level, okay, what is next? And like, even in the first book, she asked like, okay, I got this, what's next? You know what I'm saying? And then like, pretty much, she gets into an altercation, and like, basically she gets in an altercation trying to help somebody else. And when she gets into this altercation, dude ends up like basically tackling her and putting her on her back. And she's like, I've never been here before. I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And she's struggling to get out. She can't do nothing, and then basically the person she was trying to help, he hits the guy up in a rear naked choke, chokes him out, and then like, they slide out of there. But she's like, I don't know why I was in that situation. I should have never been in that situation. I got a black belt. I'm supposed to be this, and this. And the guy explains to her like, yo, once you get on the ground, it's a different story. It's a different world, and then she's still thinking like, man, I got this black belt. I should be all right. I'm cool. And then he's like, he's basically like, okay, well, let's see what you got. And then they end up rolling, and he ends up tapping her like every like in seconds, like several times, like, okay, you're not gonna get me. You're gonna, I know I can do this stuff. But she was absolutely useless on the ground. And so then she realizes like, this is a whole new thing of stuff that I've never found. I've never knew, and I've never like learned. And so I don't know where I need to. I don't know what to do now. It's like, and he explains to her like, yeah, you got your black belt, but once you get your black belt, the game resets. So, which is true for like any discipline. Like once you reach the highest level, like as far as like, a black belt, this is like, it's black belts and then it's black belt. You know what I'm saying? So, you find out real quick. But long story short, man, like that's when she's like, well, this is a new level of stuff that I want to learn. And ultimately what happens through the next couple of books is even her old teacher says like, yeah, I taught you a lot of stuff, but I didn't teach you everything. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when she starts to find out like, about like the spiritual stuff, and like, this thing called the formless state, and like, everything that involves with that. Like, I'm not gonna give that away because y'all need to read the book, but you find out about like she finds out about like there's a whole different side of fighting that is largely like spiritual, you know what I'm saying, and largely like, energy based. People ain't throwing fireballs, just so y'all know, but like it is something that is like, you find out like different levels to this, you know what I mean? And so combine that with her like going through and learning like different stuff in MMA, it's like she's basically getting two halves of this new world to her, you know what I'm saying? So that was like the biggest thing. And then like she's finding like all of these different people who have different levels of the game that like, that basically like add to her game or basically add to her game or enhance her game. And that was the other thing I wanted to do with this book too, is one of my homies, like who's actually a jiu-jitsu black belt, one of the cool things he said was when you start jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu starts with you and it ends with everybody else. And so like that was one of the big things I wanted to do, where it was like, yeah, she's going through this journey, but like all the other people that she meets, you know, they're going through their own journeys, and she's like helping them as well. Like she's helping them get ready for fights. She's helping them like, you know, battle through stuff and whatnot. So it's not like, hey, you know, the Dragon Ball formula where you have, you know, hey, this guy's the strongest in the universe. And then they're like, okay, well, wait till Goku gets here and then he'll beat him up. And then Goku's the strongest in the universe. Lather, rinse, repeat. You know what I'm saying? And so instead of that, it's just, it's more like, hey, you know, we got our main character, Shannon, who is strong, but like, you know, she's got her own journey that she's doing, but then she's got her other teammates that she's helping them get ready. And like, so we're kind of watching them like, you know, triumph and fail like as well. And it's just like that whole thing of, hey, this other character learned XYZ, and that's how they lost last time. But now they know better because of this thing that we went through, and we got them tough in this area or whatever, you know what I mean? And so it was like, now everybody is like, you know, basically everybody's level is like kind of leveling up. So it's like, and you see that, and that was one of the big things I wanted to do, like, because in MMA, like, you know what I mean, even though it's technically a solo sport, it's still like kind of a team sport, because like you think about like the guys that you train with, and they got fights coming up, and you want to see them succeed, and so you're there in the stands with them, cheering them on, and being like, yo, this is what's up. Like most recently last weekend, like Israel Adesanya, like his boy was you know, in a title fight, you know what I'm saying, and his boy ended up getting finished, but like Izzy was just like, you know, hey man, like I'm here for you, bro, like da 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 da. He was back in the back hugging him and this and this, and like, you know, it was just the whole like, we trained so much and he just caught us, but like we're gonna be back to the top later, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, we still here, we still love you, yada yada yada, you know what I mean? And gotcha, so like that type of camaraderie and that type of team is like something that like I wanted to like really emphasize in the book, you know what I'm saying? And so we see people come in, like there's characters that come in, like as a matter of fact, in issue 5, there's a character that comes in who has no martial arts experience at all. And she's like, you know, I've never done this before, but I just saw this girl that like I idolized like on YouTube, and you know, I saw her knockouts, and I saw like I've been following her, all her socials, and she seems like a really cool person. And so I guess I want to try this too. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, that was you know, it kind of leads into a lot of stuff that happens specifically in issue 5, but it leads to her like having growth as a person and being like, maybe I can learn this, and maybe I am like worthy to do this, even though I have no athletic ability, I have no whatever, you know what I mean? But these people are not judging me. They're not like, you know, just beating me up to beat me up. They're like making me grow, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's big, you know what I mean? So yeah,
that's a big part of life, you know. And I like when our characters can relate to how real humanity is, you know. Like the stories might be super fantastical, you know, people might have superpowers and all that stuff, but if you can relate to you know, real life, I think that always makes the story better. Kyron, you ready? You ready for quick takes?
Yeah, man. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Quick takes. So, Fred, if you never watched the show before, quick takes is a little fast, rapid-paced question and answer section that we do, where I ask you 5 questions and you have 45 seconds to answer off the top of your head. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Question number 1. I'm a fan of nicknames. I love nicknames. I've had many. And I see you have Juice Lee down in the corner there as your name here. Tell us who is Juice Lee and where did you get that name from?
Juice Lee is the rapper name, is the only rapper name I've ever had. Yeah. Oh wow. basically it is. I'm quick to hit you with a rhyme like Bruce Lee, but my rhymes are so juicy, meaning filled with knowledge. It's the only rap name I've ever had in my entire life. And I've been rapping since I was like in junior high. So yeah.
I love it. So even the rap name is based off of martial arts, man. I love it. Yep. Your love for the martial arts runs deep.
Very deep.
All right. Question number 2. I saw recently that you posted a cosplay of one of your characters. I want to know, which one do you think is which one do you appreciate more from fans? Fan art or cosplay?
Cosplay, because fan art takes a lot of time, but cosplay is like one of those things where it's like, for a creator, you're seeing this thing in real life. Also, you're seeing that someone took the time and dedication to create an outfit from scratch and actually like go out into the world and say, hey, I love this character enough to show everybody that I love this character. So yeah, that's I'll have to say cosplay.
I'm gonna have to stop asking this question because everybody gives the same answer. Like everybody
I told you that when you first started asking that.
Everybody answers cosplay for that one. All right.
Not that we don't love fan art. We always want fan art as creators. But
fan art is dope. Fan art is dope. Plus, you might mess around and find a really dope artist that way. So,
hey, just a sidebar here. Thank you to everybody that's submitted to the Saw Lightning Wielder contest. I've gotten, I think, like 11 entries so far. So, you guys have to the end of the month. So keep submitting them.
I'm still in that for Ace Blade number 7, by the way.
Also, side note, Danny, real quick, how often do people tell you that you have a comic book name?
All the time.
Like,
all the time.
They ask you, like, why are you not a speedster?
His kids have superpowers too, apparently.
Yeah. All right. Question number 3. Which is harder to sell to people, or which is harder for people to get to people to look at? Mixtapes or comic books?
Mixtapes, because everybody has a mixtape and like everybody raps and like nobody wants to take that time to do that, to like listen to your song. So it's hard. That's why you gotta have music videos and you gotta have like little something that is outside of just the music itself. With a comic book, you can hand somebody a comic book, or you can show somebody some art, and at least they'll know like, hey, this thing exists. With a mixtape, you can be like, hey man, I got my album out, blah 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 blah, and they'll be like, all right, that's cool, and then like completely forget you.
That's wild. I never really thought about it like that. I kind of feel like comic books, everybody equates themselves to the rap game somehow. So like every time I'm out selling comics, I feel like I'm hustling a mixtape to somebody.
I mean, you really are, but like I think it's easier because like most times you're in a place where you can be like, hey, here's the book, and even if they don't look at it, or even if they don't read the book and they just buy the book and they be like, hey, I just want to support, you know what I'm saying? It's still like ingrained in them. For me, that's another reason why like I try to put so much like unique art up on my Instagram, because like I want to remind you, hey, this book exists. Hey, here's these characters doing this cool thing of just hanging out or whatever, just so you know, like, these are my characters. And like, for whatever reason, like, it's worked in a way that like people have gravitated towards my characters simply because of the Instagram posts that I put up where they're just doing candid stuff.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Question 4. You have to meal prep. Imagine that you have to meal prep for a big fight. What meal are you eating and why?
Oh man. Boy, if I had to do that, because I've never like done that before. Because my diet's trash anyway. So I would say probably it's gonna probably be some salads, or any salads, or like some sort of fruits or something like that. Anything where it's just like water weight that I can cut, and obviously not bread. You know what I'm saying? Because bread is like my kryptonite. So I guess it would be something along those lines. But That's the only thing I can think of. You know what I'm saying? But this is also why I'm not a nutritionist. So yeah.
I feel you. All right. So eat that one.
I want the timer to go off.
Hey,
So
that'll work.
All right.
That'll work. All right. So last but not least, question number 5. If you don't know, I do another show called Top 5 Live where we do top 5 lists every week. And Kyron has been on. How many times you been on Top 5 Live?
Just once so far.
What?
I don't have time. You guys always do it at the same time I'm eating dinner with the family. You know that.
That's true.
Push it out like an hour and I'm good. I can join you.
I'm in bed at 9 Eastern.
Exactly. This is why we have to do the show so early in the morning because you got too much things going on. So.
Anyways, all right. I want to hear.
The sun is just now coming up, damn it.
Question number 5. Give me your top 5 martial arts movies off the top of your head. Go.
Off the top of my head, top 5 martial arts movies. It would be Enter the Dragon. Probably Police Story 4.
Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, Enter the Dragon, but like Police Story 4, which is Super Cop. And then there would be 5 Deadly Venoms. I would do Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, and then I would say Fist of the Legend, that Jet Li movie that was kind of based on Fist of Fury. But yeah, that would be it.
I love it. Okay, solid. I ain't hear no Jackie Chan in there, but that's all right.
Yeah, you did. Police Story 4, Super Cop.
Oh yeah, Super Cop. Yeah, you're right. That was a great one. Super Cop was amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Solid. Well, that was our quick takes.
No, we got one more. I got one. Since he is such an MMA fan, I want to know if he has any top 5 MMA movies.
Ooh. MMA movies are. I'm gonna tell you right now. MMA movies are like, man, they're sus. The only one I would say is because they're always usually the same thing, and they're always usually just kind of like trying to be Rocky too much. If I had to say MMA movies, man, that's hard. Only one that I really would recommend is Red Belt, and that's the one that I was thinking. That's a jiu-jitsu movie earlier.
That's the one where they had the tournament, the 1-day tournament, and he had to keep coming back. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that is that.
I remember.
Yeah, the Red Belt was with Chiwetel Ejiofor. Yeah, but like that, I would say that's probably the best movie. But it's technically just a jiu-jitsu movie. It's not MMA. So and it's like I said, the other MMA movies like Bruised, like with Halle Berry. The only thing I will say about that particular movie is the final fight sequence is really, really good, but the rest of the movie itself, it's like it's basically like super short attention span of, hey, I'm gonna have this movie talking about her. It's like 3 different movies in that movie. You know what I'm saying? And they have no direction as to what they're doing.
And I watched it with my wife, and we liked it, but I do agree that last scene was
scene was amazing. I still don't understand why you have a woman who is technically Russian playing a Latina, but I'm whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because like in the last scene, the woman that Halle Berry fights is Valentina Shevchenko. And she's from somewhere in Russia, you know what I'm saying? But like basically she's like a Latina girl, and I'm like, why? What are we doing here? Granted, she does know very, 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 very fluent Spanish. She speaks like 5 or 6 languages, but like, why is she? It's weird. It's really strange.
All right, so we do have a question from Brad, amazing supporter there, Brad. He wants to know, where can we find your book, Skrap?
You can find Skrap on npccomics.com. So basically
in our chat
got a big banner there. You can find it there, and that's pretty much that. We got 4 issues out right now. Issue 5 is being worked on. So, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Well, where can we find the rest of Juice Lee as far as like your Instagram, your Twitter, your social media? Where can we find all that?
My Instagram is where I'm most active at. And that is Instagram.com or it's Instagram.com/Juice Lee. So at Juice Lee on Instagram. Or no, I'm sorry. No, it's not at Juice Lee on Instagram. Whoa, my bad. It's JUI brand on Instagram. I'm thinking about you know what it was? I was thinking about the Bandcamp that I sent you earlier, which if you want to listen to my music, this actually juice-lee.bandcamp.com. And I actually do have on my Bandcamp 2 albums that I did, 2 EPs that I did, which are basically like a kung fu epic. It's a kung fu opera. You know what I'm saying? And it's called The Epic of John Fong. So you can definitely check that out. It's like that was like one of those weird, cool projects that I did, and it's like I do all these voices of these different characters, like from like the old kung fu movies and stuff like that. It's like tons of old school kung fu references and things like that. So yeah, but and then on Twitter, my @ is actually Juice Lee. So because I like found out about Twitter in like 2006 and scooped up Juice Lee really quick. So yeah. But yeah, those are definitely the places that you would find me. Like I said, I'm most active on Instagram. My Instagram like links to my Facebook page, but my Facebook page is facebook.com/Juice Lee. So that is pretty much that.
No. What's your MySpace page? We brought that up. You got to get
that.
Up.
You got to bring up the MySpace page. Shoot. I don't know. What is my MySpace page? Is it just MySpace.com/Juice Lee?
I got it. I got it.
Because that would be awesome.
I will drop it in the chat. I had it up here a second ago.
Man. Oh man, that is funny.
While he's doing that, where can are you doing any events anytime soon? Either comic
right
book
now
or MMA related?
We're gonna be at a Cincinnati Comic Expo. That's my next event, and then after that, I'm gonna be at an event up in Akron, Ohio called Con on the Cob in October. So those are the last 2 events I'm probably doing this year. Next year, we're going to try to have like a more full schedule. We went to DreamCon this year, like me and Jamel from NPC Comics. We went to DreamCon this year. That was the best convention I've ever been to in my life. So I'm really hoping to go back next year and have a lot of fun and all of that. So if y'all ain't been to DreamCon, y'all need to like figure out how to go to DreamCon. So
yeah, that's a travel for me. That was down in Texas, but I definitely heard great things about it. But I'm trying to go next year. And if you're up in Ohio, you should check out FS Con. Freestyle Comics is doing
an
event there.
FS Con is what's his name? Tony Clapper.
Tony Clapper and Michael.
It's funny. He like. We have a bunch of mutuals, and like I met him like some years ago before I started even working on like Skrap and stuff like that. Like and like because I think he's here in Cincinnati too, and like but he's a good dude, man. He's a really good dude. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We're running out of time, but we gotta bring you back just so we can talk about how you met up with NPC Comics and.
Oh man, that's a whole story in itself.
I know, man. I mean, they're on the West Coast with me, so we gotta.
Yeah, it's just funny how that happened. So yeah, because
so next time we have you on, we're gonna have to expand on that, and maybe we'll next time touch on the music side because we talked about comics, talked about the MMA stuff, but we didn't even get to music, so we got to have you back on some point.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I'm definitely down for that. But yeah, like if you gonna go through the music page, go to the Bandcamp, and I would say if you listen to anything. Listen to the Epic of John Fong 1 and 2. So because it's a big long story and it's just cool. So I'm very proud of that project and I can't say enough about it just because I think it's a freaking awesome. So anybody that listens to it, that actually listens to it, you're like, yo, this is crazy. So yeah, that's what I would say.
All right, Danny.
Man, I'm gonna click on this MySpace link and like look at this myself. Like this is crazy.
Hey, Danny, where can we find your work and all your stuff, man?
If you're looking for me, y'all can find all of our stuff on our website, fourthwallpros.com. And if you're looking for me on social media, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Kyron, where can people find you?
You can find me at Taurus Comics, TAURUS comics.com. You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook at Taurus Comics. And again, TikTok, your algorithm is broken. I don't see my boy Danny stuff in any way. I don't see Michael Watson stuff. I don't see nobody stuff outside of like 3 people I follow. And it just recycles. So fix your stuff. I would have said the other S word, but my mom's probably watching this. I don't want to make her mad again. So fix your stuff, TikTok. But if this is the first time you have checking out the Four Tales podcast, please go back, listen to our other episodes. You can go to fourtalespodcast.com. That is the number 4, TALES podcast.com while we usher now.
He started
usher on this. Watch this. All right. But join us next week when we have the Afro Avenger, Kevin Chapman on the show.
I'm grilling them. Grilling them.
All right, man. We'll see. But until next time, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Peace.
Watch this.
Music provided by my brother, Quix Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.